Hey guys, Owen here from Sintel with just a quick update on the latest features that we've released for Sintel Forms Studio. At the end of June, we released 5 new features and I'm going to give you a brief demo of each of them. Our latest features focus mainly on external options such as external sharing, external submissions and external collaboration. So let's take a look at what this means. Our 2 existing features, Conversations and Workflow, have been extended to support external users. This means that you can @mention external users in conversations, and you can also include external users in any workflow that you set up on a form. So it means now that you can implement any business process that requires external user involvement. They'll be able to interact with the form, including modifying form data and completing any actions in the same way as an internal user would, with the difference being that they have no access to your tenant. The next thing we did was add support for displaying some of the information about external users on the form. So we now display things such as the name or email address of an external user on the created by or modified by fields of Sharepoint. This makes it very easy to identify who it was that submitted a form or modified it. The last thing that we have done in relation to external features is that we have modified the UI of the Sintel Forms Designer to merge the external submissions and external collaboration features into one. This just makes the configuration a lot easier. Finally, on a completely unrelated note, we've added a function similar to the Vlookup function of Excel, which enables you to query and retrieve filtered data from a Sharepoint list. This was a feature that was heavily requested, and we're happy that we have now been able to include it. So let's take a look at these new features in action. This is a simple form that I created for our own internal use. I'm a member of a mountain bike group and we were ordering some customized mountain biking gear, and this order form was used by everybody in the group to place the order for whatever gear they wanted, including jerseys or other accessories. The key here that I wanted to show here in terms of a feature is that this is obviously externally accessible, and when I submitted the form initially I did so as my own personal account. And now that I've been added as an external user on the form, I can @mention that external user. This is an extremely powerful feature and enables you to actually collaborate with an external person in a much easier way. The second thing we've done can be demonstrated when adding a new form. You can see here the actions menu appears, but it's grayed out. So let's fill in some information. Finally, some contact number. You'll now see that the menu option appears. This showcases how an external user can now actively participate in the workflow defined within a form. This is an extremely useful feature and will allow way more options in terms of collaboration with external parties who can actually get involved in your business process without having any access to your tenant. The last 2 features I wanted to show in relation to external features relate to the details that appear in the form. So if I take this one as an example, this was submitted by an external user for whom we have some contact details. And because of that, when I scroll to the bottom of the form, you'll see that the created by shows EU, which represents external user, and the name and email address of that external user. However, if you submitted forms or you were receiving forms from external users who weren't providing an email address, thus are anonymous, if you look at a form that's been submitted by an anonymous user, you'll see AU. And this helps you to visually identify forms that have been submitted by anonymous users versus those who may be external users. The last basic update that I just want to cover here is in the Sintel Forms Designer in the settings screen. We've now merged the external submissions and external collaborations into a single feature. So that covers it from the external side of things. How about the Vlookup feature? This is pretty cool. In this particular list, we've got a film crew. We have a list of actors, their latest films, and their Oscar. And we can now query lists like this and retrieve data. So let's see how that works. If I come in here and I choose single mode, I provide the search field, which I'm going to search on role. And then the search value, I'll search on actor. And what should happen is that it'll retrieve the first entry that it finds, in this case Christian Bale. But obviously I know there are more actors in that list, so let's check for multi. and it gets everyone. You can also do things like search for entries where the Oscar is true. And it'll retrieve all entries where the value of the Oscar is true. Very powerful feature. I hope you found this useful, and if you have any questions on any of the features or functionality of our product, check out sintelforms.com, and I highly recommend that you follow us on LinkedIn, Twitter and YouTube to keep apprised of the latest updates as we release new stuff every month. Thanks.